What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and how can I say this? Because no matter how I say anything, one, it makes people angry. They think I'm taking a dig at their favorite firearm. No matter what I do, people complain, and I just don't get it, guys. It's the internet. It's not that serious. But I actually had a subscriber say, you need to quit making Glock 26 and 27 content, as if it's their channel. Guys, this is my channel. I'm going to put out whatever content I want over here. Even if it was all Glock 26 and 27 videos, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to click on it. I don't have a problem not watching videos I don't want to watch, so I just scroll to the next one. You don't have to watch it. It's just fine with me, right? But then the other main thing is the reason why I did put out a video recently on the 27 is to show you guys you can get used firearms for unbelievable deals. That was the point of it. Everyone thinks you need the most brand new thing, blah, blah, blah. I try to point out that you can get good, reliable handguns for affordable prices that normally would cost $150, $200 more. So you walk away with an awesome handgun for a great value. That's the only reason I did it. So no, we're not going to stop with the 26, 27 content over here. They're amazing guns. I love them as well as so many other people, and I promise you, if we went out and competed, I could use a small little Glock 26. You can use a full size with an optic, and I would hold my own. I'm just being real with you guys. Anyways, let's talk about this setup right here. This setup that you see in front of me costs a total of $723. Now I'm going to break it down. Some of it's ammo costs for testing, all sorts of things, right? So let's get into it. First off, a used, unloaded Glock 27. I bought it used in a fully stocked configuration, came with 3 mags. That costs $350 out the door. It's a Gen 5. You cannot beat that. Why did I get a Gen 5? Because I don't have a Gen 5 27, and the Gen 5s take the performance trigger from Glock. Therefore, that's an extra $84. I picked that up almost the same day. It is the Glock OEM performance trigger. That comes from Glock. It doesn't come standard in their handguns, which it should, but you can buy it from them aftermarket, and it's still considered an OEM part. Therefore, this being dropped into this Glock is still under warranty. So I wouldn't have to change anything out and swap back to the old trigger if there was a problem. That's $84. Let's take a look at that trigger pull. It is awesome. I wish Glock just gave you every Glock with this trigger pull, but I get why they can't. Duty firearms, people are security guards, executive security, stuff like that, right? It's clean, it's crisp, nice reset, and it's just a different overall trigger. I have a review of this trigger. You guys should go check it out. It is the best upgrade for your Glock. That is still an OEM part and does not affect reliability whatsoever. So that was $84. Then when we come down here, obviously it came with 3 mags. The first one, I always keep a flush 27 mag. That's for deep concealment, light carry, summertime carry. Usually I have my flush mag full of Civil Liberty Defense rounds. Therefore, it is a super light setup, being 10 rounds, 9 plus 1 in the head, 10 rounds of 40. I'm good anywhere I go. I'm just being real with you guys, right? With 10 rounds of 40. Next up, I spent $12 on this Pierce grip extension for the Gen 5s. Now, this is a Gen 5 specific extension. It does not add any capacity, but what it does is still leaves it very short in the back, like the part that prints, there's nothing. But up front, you can get that third finger on something. You know, it's still 2.5 fingers, but it allows for a great grip on it and feels really good in the hand. But the main reason I do that is to add about a 1/2 inch of, or 5/8 of an inch of draw extension. That's why I do it. Absolutely love the setup. It's not the most ergonomic because my fingers don't sit in the finger grooves. Like, look at where my fingers sit on here and then also right here. But I still feel really confident and good with it, even being in 40. A lot of people see 40 Smith & Wesson and they're like, it's going to be miserable. It's going to be hard to shoot. I actually had some people shoot this gun today. They loved it. It's reliable as can be. Now, for most people, they're not going to be as fast with it, but it's accurate. It's the same as shooting a 9mm. It's the same as shooting a 380, a 22. As long as you just follow the basic fundamentals of shooting, every shot will be accurate. It just may take a little bit more follow-up or time on that follow-up shot. That's the only difference. But if you train with it, I think it's worth the extra power. Now, mainly I carry 9mm, but if you saw a used 27 sitting at your local shop for $350, snatch it up, especially the Gen 5s, because they don't make the performance trigger for the Gen 3s and Gen 4s, and it makes a world of difference in Glock, especially if you don't like the Glock OEM trigger, which I have no problem with. But buying a used firearm allows me to get a little extra money for extra stuff. Next up, we added the Henning Group base plate. This is about $30 from Henning Group. This is a +2. They advertise it as a +1, and they advertise it as a +2 for 9mm. But for 40s, I can fit 2 in there, making this an 11 plus 1, 12 rounds of 40 in this super small setup. Only 2.5 fingers, 12 rounds of 40. Unbelievable. But for 9mm, you can fit 3 in there. So for that setup, it's 13 plus 1 for 14 rounds of 9mm. Now, if I use the conversion barrel on this, you can now use this base plate on your 9mm and have that exact setup. So a very versatile handgun, getting the Glock 27. That's why I love 40s, very versatile. So this right here is a great way to, get some capacity out of a super small, reliable, accurate handgun, right? Next up are the grips. I thought I'd give them a try. I do like sandpaper, but I like when they're worn down a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll wear them down throughout the day. You know, I'll take some time just a little bit. I'm not going to rip them out or anything. I'm actually terrible at putting these on. That's why it looks like trash. But it is what it is. I'm all about the function, and that's what I got. But also, Handleit Edge Series, or Handleit grips, make pretty decent grips. I prefer their Pros or their Edge Series, but as a company as a whole, I'm not the biggest fan. I could go into detail about it, but the people over there are, you know, it is what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of Handleit. Just watching how they move, watching how they act, watching how they post, and how they've treated me in the past. So not the biggest fan, but they do make a great product. So pick up that product. I like shooting this with the grips on it so I can slowly get it worn down, and then it'll be in that sweet spot where it literally feels perfect in your hand and doesn't tear up your clothes too much. Next up is the IWB holster, right? This is an inside the waistband holster from Blacksmith Tactical. This is the blood red carbon fiber. I actually have a new Gen 5 holster coming for it. This is a discreet carry clip, and we have a wedge. That would run you about $75. You can always use code SPN for 10% off and get a holster like this. They're the best. Blacksmith Tactical. I like the V2 holster, preferably with the 2 clips. But in this case, this is the holster I had that'll fit a Gen 5. Because if you didn't know, Gen 5s are a little bit thicker. Therefore, they don't run in your Gen 3 and Gen 4 holsters. But Blacksmith Tactical makes great holsters. Notice how we have a 3.4-inch barrel. Anything under a 3.7, 3.8-inch barrel, I like using a wedge. What it does is it offsets that short barrel, because with a short barrel, there's nothing to press up against your body. Therefore, it keels over and prints, causing you to print. When you have a wedge, it's nice and soft. It offsets that and keeps it nice, close, and tight to your body while still allowing you to get a good purchase in the handgun for a nice draw. They also sell the wedges on their website. And once again, code SPN will get you 10% off these awesome wedges and holsters. Next up is going to be the sights. They're about $85, I believe, something like that. But these are XS 3-dot sights. I also like the minimalist sights from them. I like all their sights, but the minimalists are really nice. Those are a little cheaper. Anyways, 3-dot tritium sights. These may be actually like $95. I'm not 100% sure. I ordered a couple on the order. So probably $85 to $100. Somewhere in there for these sights. They're the best. It is still light out behind me. The window and the door wall are open, but really bright tritium. Really nice sight picture. Extremely accurate. I absolutely love shooting XS sights. That actually is my new go-to company for sights. Next up, I've ran a bottle of, sorry, not a bottle. I was looking at a water bottle. But a box of Civil Liberty Defense rounds, as well as 1 box of Underwood Extreme Defenders. The Defenders cost me $30 to test, and the Civil Liberty cost me $32 to test. On top of that, we ran a couple boxes of 40, and my buddy gave me a free bag of 50 rounds of Federal hollow point defensive rounds. So in total, everything together cost $723, and my handgun is tested, ready to go, ready to be carried. I have a holster, backup mags, night sights, grips, an awesome trigger, everything you need for everyday carry, the essentials. This is all you need. You don't even need the grips. You know, some could say you could get away with the tritium sights. So you could have a much cheaper setup than this. But in my opinion, this is the awesome setup, or this is an awesome setup for everyday carry. It's versatile. It can flex into your home defense because you can throw a 13-round mag from the Glock 23, the 15-round mag from the 22, and so on. You can get any capacity you want out of this small Glock 27. If you wanted a light, you could go out and get a TLR 6 for it, whatever the case may be. This is going to be a go-to defensive pistol for me. It's perfect. It's all OEM, all stock, obviously except for stuff that doesn't affect the function of the firearm. But I love it. It's a beast. It's versatile. It can go in the woods with me. All sorts of things. It's very small, so in the winter you can conceal it just fine. It is a great, great everyday carry setup. I don't care what anyone says. I bought it used. I trust it with my life. I absolutely love this thing. I don't care what people say. I like my setups the way I have them and the way I test them and run them. Gives me complete confidence. I don't care about what Glock haters say. My chances are this handgun right here will outrun any of those handguns in terms of longevity, durability, and reliability. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.